So hello world, my name is Amelia, and I have, if you can see, I actually got those lights put up. Progress. I felt that it was time, something that, I don't know, I guess I kind of make these videos impromptu, having random ideas of things to talk about. And lately, just about a week ago now, I started a new diet, so I felt like it was probably a good time to talk about my probably one of my most difficult things that I've ever struggled with, which has been my weight. I mean, kind of connected to my health. Being that I struggled with gender dysphoria for so much of my life, going through my teens and my young adult years, and I mean, it's not uncommon for a lot of people who are in shoes like mine, not to care so much about their body. I've heard of trans people who are so fixated on, how much they hate their appearance that they don't even shower. I had a lot of struggle with, I believe around at least as young as 13 or 14. I started really struggling with my weight. I was overeating to compensate for my depression and anxiety, and I was just way overdoing it. I remember when I was about 18, I went to this like men's gathering thing, and we were eating pizza, and these were big pizzas, and I ended up shoving down like an entire pizza. I even remember some of the guys making comments about like, oh my gosh, do you think you should slow down, and things like that. And of course, comments like that just made me feel all the more conscious about myself and how much I hated my body. So I struggled with that for a while, and it was about the time it was around 2010, I remember, 2011, somewhere in there. I had just gotten laid off at my job at AT&T, and I had just hit 260 pounds. And I had felt so disgusted in myself. We're talking about when I got to the age of 16, I did driver's ed and I got my driver's license. And my driver's license by this point still said I was 190 pounds. And, here I was 24 and sitting at 260. I just kept adding on and adding on. And, I am appreciative that I caught myself and I didn't go way above the scale, becoming in that range of 300-400. That would have been very depressing. And I finally made a commitment to fix it. I went on a diet. Some people might know the diet. It was called the HCG diet. It's a very controversial diet. Me personally, I had a huge success on the diet, and it really saddens me that at the time it was pretty easy to get yourself on what you need for that diet, which for the diet, just to put it simply, you cut your calorie intake significantly, and then you take a supplement, which is basically HCG hormone, which it's a pregnancy hormone, and of course both men and women can take it. It's harmless. And what it basically does is unlocks your body's access to your fat reserves. So the idea behind it is you cut your calories, your body goes into ketosis, which would be the equivalent of the keto diet. And once your body is now looking to burn fat, the HCG increases your fat contents in your bloodstream, lose weight at a significantly faster rate. Some people have seen as much as 2-3 pounds a day, and I know that sounds crazy, but I think I understand where people were concerned about it. And It's really sad to see that in recent years, the FDA has banned the use of HCG hormones for anything other than fertility treatment. Like, more recently, I haven't even been able to buy it anymore. I've gone on so many websites to buy the supplement that used to sell it, and you just can't even get your hands on it anymore. Back to the point, I was incredibly successful at the diet. I ended up losing around 65 pounds. I reached 195 pounds, and I was so proud of myself. Matter of fact, I can find a photo. I know there's a photo of me from the photo how far skinnier I was. That also depends on if you've seen another photo. I'll try to see what I can do here on the screen. However I do that. I ended up losing all that weight. I was so happy with myself, and by the time I got to the other end of it, it was now time for me to maintain it. One of the things that kind of counteracts for a lot of people on the diet is the fact that if they don't properly change their diet, change their lifestyle after losing all that weight, the body is very quick about packing that weight back on. You lost that weight so quickly that now your body is freaking out because it's so unnatural for your body. I'm not going to pass judgment on the diet. All I know is personally it worked for me, and I kept that weight for 3 months, roughly around that amount, and I was happy. I was so happy with it, and I really do believe I could have maintained that weight. However, because I didn't actually fix my gender dysphoria problems and the anxiety and depression, and on top of it, I started having severe panic attacks at that time. It was bad. I remember by the time 2015 came along, I went out on a date with my ex-wife, and I was staying at a hotel. It was a 2-day thing. And here I am in the hotel that evening. Of course, she wasn't there because whole conservative thing, that's a whole nother story. I was leaning up against the bed in a complete panic. Like, my whole body was shaking uncontrollably, and the only thing I could do is sit there and stay calm and try to wait for this whole thing to pass. I went through several of those. I think my panic attacks were happening at least once a month, if not twice a month. And to be honest, looking back, I'm still not fully sure why they were happening or what was going on with my body. All I can think is, because I honestly, in the past 5 years or so, I've maybe only had a couple panic attacks, so I can't say what the connection was there. Anyhow, I went on, because I was still dealing with that anxiety and depression and everything else in my life, I gained that weight back. The first time it was a little slower. I got to like 240, and I lost a little bit, got back, because that was around 2020, I had my bottom surgery done, and I had to get down to 210. I think I mentioned something about that in a previous video, and I was so desperate for it, I got myself down to that. And then after the surgery, I basically gained weight again. The pandemic didn't help with that. I real honestly would say the pandemic had a lot to do with why I gained that weight back. I was going through the stress of an abusive roommate, which, if I haven't talked about that, it's definitely something to cover in the future. And I eventually gained and gained, because it's been 3 years now, and it slowly snuck up on me. By last year, I was sitting at 240 average, and I was sitting there for a while. I do want to make it clear that this weight has added on, and I do honestly believe that how I have you know, dealt with my gender dysphoria and a lot of the other things I'm dealing with, I'm in a better place now. And I definitely believe that I can maintain my weight. I get it down, I can keep it there. You know, it has a lot to do with once you gain that weight, you really start being depressed about yourself. And I definitely know now is the focus on making those changes on my diet permanent. This last month, I finally hit 260 something. I got up to 269, and some people, if you probably look at me now compared to like videos from a year, 2, 3 years ago, probably can tell the difference. So I am committing to doing a diet again. Again, it's sad that I can't get my hands on the HCG supplement. I do have some that's been sitting in my refrigerator for like 2 years now, so it's probably lost all potency. So I've started the diet again. I'm, of course, being a little more lenient. I instead of going as low as you're supposed to, I'm kind of sitting around, you know, 1,000, 1,200. I'm completely avoiding sugar. It's been a week now, and I can already tell that I believe my body is in ketosis again, which is the huge phase of it. And kind of the focus here is kind of doing more like a keto diet, but really sticking on top of kind of combining HCG and keto together. So this is going to be a very interesting experiment, I guess. And I'll say by me making a video talking about this, I'm making a commitment for like anyone who's a viewer to keep me accountable. I know there's a lot of YouTubers who talk about wanting to lose weight or stuff like that, especially ones who are like anorexic or whatever, and they either don't stick to it or it turns into a whole controversy. I do want to be kept accountable, and I'm making this a permanent change. I've already lost in the past week 6 to 8 pounds, and of course some of that might have been water weight. So it'll be interesting to see like how much I got going off every week. I mean, if I got 3 or 4 pounds a week, which is not unhealthy, I'd be happy with that. I really want to get down to 200 because I have this gorgeous dress that fit me when I was under 210. I have, not to mention now that my body has changed and my waistline has gotten skinnier, there's so much more I can wear now, and I'm so excited, and I need to get myself away from this because the weight alone adds to the depression and the anxiety. Not to mention I notice my breathing is messed up and my digestion. Those are common things for people who are overweight. And I'll even comment, my fiance had an amazing weight loss journey. He was pushing almost 400 pounds a couple years ago, and he lost it all. He finally got so sick and tired of his weight, and he lost it now, and you know, he's down to 230s. Anyways, I am going to leave this video here. I believe I covered a lot. Hopefully the future is golden, and I'm looking back on this video going, I'm so glad I did that. So if anybody wants to comment down below and talk about their own weight loss journey and some of the other things they've been through, or some cheering me on, I welcome it. Gonna have this background done soon. I did get a better tripod, so my camera is much more stable now. So anyways, I'm gonna leave this here. Everyone have a lovely day, and I will see you again in a later video. Bye now.